kind of true. It's going to be a big, it's a big difference from undergrad. And your whole first year is this giant transition of really figuring out how you do study in medical school, and what works for you or not. And medical school is isolated because you just have to spend a significant portion of your first 2 years studying. If you don't, you will not learn the material, you will not pass your courses. But on the other hand, if you go too far to the extreme, you'll go crazy, which is why, I think you just have to figure out, the most efficient ways for you to study. You study, you get it done, treat it like a job, and then just go watch the TV or whatever, and hang out with friends. But if you're really inefficient about your studying, which I know I was in undergrad, then you won't have time for a social life. So I think that, most people do though. They figure it out. And we have people in our class who have kids and families. I can't imagine. So they somehow manage.
One thing I want to add also is the fact that even as the material gets thicker, the material gets bigger. It's kind of like when you're in high school, you have about, 3 or 4 chapters for your test. In college, it's probably 8 chapters. Med school is probably even more. You also develop the study habits so that you can take more as well. So you also get better at it. So don't underestimate yourself to your ability when you get to, in study mode, how much you can actually study and put your mind into it. So even though the material gets tougher, you get better at it as well.
I guess I went to undergrad here. I did a just comprehensive biology degree, and I really didn't think, at least from my point of view, undergrad the material did get much harder, at least in the first year. It's just that there was so much more of it. It's drinking from a fire hose. It's so much stuff, but at the same time, it's very doable. If you organize and get through it, it's tough, but it's not as tough as some people might imagine.
Right? It's definite that you're going to study probably more than you ever studied in your life at this point, but don't let that scare you. Everybody's doing it, and you know it.
So is it possible to have a family like in med school? Because sometimes it takes like 10 years until they're going to be like 30-ish. So I don't know.
It takes 10 years.
Like if you, I don't know, if you like go to med school and then you do the
By the time you have a real job,
yeah.
it can be a really long time.
There's never going to be a good time, I guess. So. I guess at our wedding ceremony this year, the lady who gave the talk, she said, there's never going to be a good time to do it, so you might as well do it while you're young. So that way, I don't know myself.
Which was interesting advice. But there are people in our classes who have families. I got married this summer. My husband is actually in medical school, so neither of us are ever going to have time for anything. But yeah, I guess a lot of it's about what you think will work for you. I think it's a personal choice, but there are people who do make it work, and so it is possible.
Yeah, but I got married this summer too, and that was a big thing I was worried about, like coming in and stuff like that. And I talked to a lot of physicians beforehand, female physicians and stuff, asking about how you can work the whole thing out. And it sounds silly, but they really do say there never is a perfect time. If you're choosing this career, it's it's going to be wait till med school, wait till residency, wait till you're set up, wait till your fellowship, all these things. So as you kind of just decide at some point what your priorities are and you make it work. And so one of the things that I heard about this good advice is you're not going to be able to be at home as much as someone who maybe has a less demanding job. And so you find help where you need to. You get help with your housework. Once you way down the road when you can afford it. But you get help with housework, you help with that, so that your time with your family is quality time. You're not all trying to take care of everything else. So yeah.
And it also depends on what field of the medicine you go into. Obviously, if you want to be a big family person, do not become a cardiothoracic surgeon. But if you go into, say, dermatology or psychiatry or family practice, you can really set your own hours. Or you can work part-time and probably still make enough money to take care of your family. So it's really nice in that way. I think it actually offers women a lot more flexibility to have a family because you can make a fair amount of money working fewer hours than most people have to.
I also think when I first started last year and people talked about, they really push balancing med school and your real life, and they also talk about your professional life down the road, and try to make you think about that. And I remember being in a small group with all these people and my faculty advisor person who was a woman who has a family and she works full time, and from the time her kids were 8 months old, or 8 weeks old, they were in daycare full time and stuff. And that's not what I want. And I remember feeling a lot of pressure that if you're choosing this career, part-time. There's actually such thing as part-time residencies, they do exist, although they're not that common. And I guess you kind of do what works for you, but yeah, there's flexibility, so. And you can take time off, people take time off to do research or stuff like that, you can take time off to have family, so.
Once you're accepted into medical school, if you take a year to do something like that, are you still accepted, or how does that work?
Iowa has a program where you can just defer a year. And
A lot of
yeah,
schools, I think.
yeah. You essentially get accepted and just take a year. You don't have to reapply or anything like that. Jail and stuff like that.
The whole concept is, I know for a fact Iowa, I thought about the top 15% of the class can defer, so the first come, first served basis. And the idea is you go and you apply again, but you only apply to Iowa, and they agree that they're accepting you, so you don't have to worry about it. But you have to.
Okay.
You apply, but you're not like competing.
Yeah, you're not competing, you're already getting accepted.
Yeah.
Yes.
How hard is it to get scholarships?
Hard, but it's not hard to get loans.
I think the rule is the higher up your education, the harder it is to find scholarship. But I mean, I think if you, from Iowa, different counties have different scholarship opportunities. There's always the health corps, there's always the military. So there is scholarships out there, but loans are always easier.
Because if you think about it, maybe like the top 15% of your classes now get into med school, so then once you're there, it's like, it's not like you're competing, but a lot of places don't even offer merit scholarships because
Right.
everyone there has merit, everyone deserves to be there, so, but I think the attitude a lot of people have, I mean, I think maybe the majority, I don't know if that's true, people are on student loans and things like that, and, I mean, they give you a stipend, you're not like, scraping to get by totally while you're in school, so I mean, you're not like out doing crazy with various things, but, it's okay, and it's like, they have the understanding that eventually down the road, you'll be a doctor, so you can pay it back, so it's not like something you worry about every day, unless you think about it.
I mentioned the health corps, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but the idea behind it is if you go into primary care, only if you go into primary care, OBGYN counts for that. You pay for all your med school and give you a stipend. And when you graduate from med school, you actually have to do 4 years in an underserved area, and that's pretty much it. And everything we pay for, so if you're into primary care and you get that sort of thing, that's definitely a sweet thing.
There's also another thing, another piece of legislation that just passed, where if you want to go into academic medicine, then your residency counts towards, like, this 4 years out of 10 years in total, you have to serve in an academic institution and it'll forgive our loans. So, and there are a lot of ways to get around it, otherwise, if you become like a practice surgeon or a gynecologist, then you'll make the money pretty quickly.
Can you kind of talk about that interview process? I know that's kind of like.
I think it's different for different schools. I interviewed at about 10 different schools, so I've got a lot of different perspectives. I think it's from school to school. Here, I have nothing but good things to say. Other places, I shall not name, not so much. I think it's from different schools. Some schools have, multiple interviewers. Other schools have more like one-on-one, and the questions vary, and they want to get different things out of it. But overall, the strategy should be the same. Just be yourself, remain yourself, and be truthful. You should definitely know why you're going to do medicine. Like when you're in an interview and somebody asks you why medicine, this isn't the time to think about it. Otherwise, something's wrong. But just be yourself, and everything will work out.
You don't have to be perfect in interviews. Some of my friends that are in my class now did some, the type of stories you think would never happen to you. It's like, oh, I was wearing heels and I fell down and knocked everything all over me and it was terrible. And they still got it. It's just, they wanted to make sure you're somebody normal, somebody that knows what you want to do, stuff like that.
I'd say in terms of preparing for your medical school interviews, like Greg was saying, take some time to reflect on why you applied, why you want to be there. Maybe have a few anecdotes to throw out about some people you helped at some point, because this is very much a service-oriented field, and so they're looking for people who actually care about volunteering and taking care of other people and that sort of thing. If it's not you, they'll be able to tell. You have to be sincere. But if you do really enjoy that stuff, really like the idea of community service and helping other people, then think about that. Think about experiences you have and support that idea so you can continue to talk about it.
So there's a website, studentdoctor.net. When you interview, pretty much medical students that are interviewing
volunteered at the hospital 2 years, great, but don't just say that. Have some little story about something that happened and what it taught you about yourself, because those are the best ways.
The other thing about interviews is if you're selling yourself to the school, but it's also your chance to learn as much as you can about these schools. I mean, when I applied, I looked at places' websites, but some of them, most of them, I'd never been to before, and so when you interview, it might be the only chance you get to be on campus and to talk to students. So I would say research the school a little more carefully before your interview, because having some good questions to ask your interviewer or the people who give information sessions and stuff looks good, looks like you're interested, but also just kind of take it all in, because this is the one day where you really get an impression of what the med school is like. And I would say the vast majority, if not all of interviews, you get some kind of time with students, so it might be lunch. A lot of the places that I interviewed, we had lunch with a student, they give a tour. There's some places do even do like an interview with a student, and that's a really good chance to ask questions. I thought it was kind of scary to ask questions to like the dean of the medical school or the admissions people, but if you get a chance to talk to students, they'll talk honestly about like what they like best about the school, and that can give you a good idea of whether it's the spot for you. So.
I guess, the way I looked at it going in was, don't freak out about the interview, because remember that they invited you, so you have every right to be there, every right to feel confident, and, I don't know, just be yourself and you'll be fine, so.
I think they're generally just trying to make sure you're not crazy. Really. So.
One of the schools I interviewed at, there was one that doesn't offer very many interviews out of, I guess, like their pool or whatever. And so the guy, I think it was the dean or whoever, walked in the morning, and the first thing he said, he was like, okay, take a deep breath. If you're sitting around this table, 98% of you are going to get in somewhere. Which, I mean, that's not really true everywhere you go and things like that. But you've already, by the time you get to the interview, you've already made it through a lot of the process. So like, there's already something to be proud of. And
There was a question.
Yeah, what are your undergrad GPAs?
Share Caroline's.
I'll start, I always was on because my GPA was up to 36, so it's not 4.0.
mine was like a 39.
I didn't do very well my first year, so to start off with, and that's not a terrible thing. I did not very well with like a 3.3 or something like that. Well, like, it wasn't, everybody comes out of high school and they're like the typical, 4.0 students. High school is probably easy for pretty much everybody out there. And you get here and it's different. And it's okay to not be perfect your first year and still be all right. Keep working, work hard. I want to say I worked up like a 3.8 by the time I was done. But, it's okay to, there's other ways to